Ladies and gentlemen, recently we lost one of the icons of the political journey of this country. This is an individual who at least was in Moi's time, Kibaki's time, Uhuru's time, and also in William Ruto's time. He has worked with most of the politicians across, one of them being Raila Amolo Odinga the late. This gentleman, there's one constant thing that everyone is saying about him. Alikuwa mtu roho safi. He could give even if he needs it. So that is one of the best descriptions you can give Cyrus Jirongo. A generous man. Ladies and gentlemen, Cyrus Jirongo, there's one thing that he always indicated in his interviews. For those who did not know, he was a content creator as well. And I think when it comes to mourning, content creators we need to be given time to also mourn him. Because this is a gentleman who literally came up with a podcast where he could invite various politicians and engage on various talks. And fortunately, in all these places when he was holding these talks, he even gave an opportunity to the interviewee to interview him. So even at some point turned out not to be the host, but now to be the interviewee or maybe the guest.
I know that from experience now that Ruto has a bad heart. Is it true?
He's not like you and me. He's not forgiving.
Which was entertaining. And in every instance that this gentleman was being asked questions or maybe asking, it was very interactive. But he gave very important information that most people were missing. One of them being why his name was always dragged towards the 500 note that we had before.
Attach your name personally, your name to the 500 shilling note.
Thank God I'm alive. I can still talk.
Yes.
I even was under attack, if you remember, the time they opened the fire on me in Westlands.
Yes.
They really tried hard to look for a scapegoat. That scapegoat was meant to be YK92.
So in a nutshell, if you look at this very closely, Cyrus Jirongo was an icon in this country. Someone with very crucial information that can help Kenyans understand where we've come from and where we are heading to. Cyrus Jirongo, just before I touch on the main questions that we need to ask ourselves about his death, ladies and gentlemen, this is a gentleman, whenever he spoke about William Ruto, he was very negative.
We've not understood William Ruto. And it makes me sad. You look at William Ruto and believe in what he's telling you. Honestly.
Yeah.
If you people still believe in a single word William Ruto tells you, then this country will never recover.
There's no time he came out to say that William Ruto is a good man. He's the first person actually to campaign William Ruto last election in 2022, where he said we can't trust William Ruto. He even came out and said that William Ruto cannot forgive. And most Kenyans, of course, we took him with that, this is Jirongo. So in a nutshell, he's somebody we can say he's very controversial in a certain manner. But there's one thing that I can tell you about Cyrus Jirongo. Everyone is saying he was a generous man. Very important. Ladies and gentlemen, from this entire scenario of Cyrus Jirongo's death, there are questions that we can ask ourselves as Kenyans that what really happened? Because as we speak today, Luhya Nation, leaders of various categories are speaking of they need questions to some of the things that happened before the death of Cyrus Jirongo.
Kama Jirongo alikuwa Karen saa 5:45. Alafu Jirongo akapatikana Naivasha na hakuwa na mpango wa kwenda Naivasha. The close friends walijua ya kwamba anakuja nyumbani. Tuna machungu zaidi kama familia.
People are suspecting that probably it was a planned accident to eliminate him. That's what I want to take you through here on this particular video. But before I do so, if this is the first time you're watching my videos at Mukwa Times, please take a second or two, subscribe, like, and comment, because that is the best support you can always give this channel. If there's one man I trust in this entire scenario, it is Moses Wetangula.
Jana tumemaliza hafla ya Jamhuri. Kuna mwanasiasa mashuhuri anajulikana Kenya mzima anaitwa Cyrus Jirongo. Akanipigia simu akasema, baba nataka tuonane. Tukaketi naye Karen from 8:30 mpaka 9:30, nikamwacha. Nikamwambia mimi naenda kupumzika, kesho naenda Mazeras. Leo asubuhi nimeamuka, nafungua simu naona pole.
He gave a public statement that he was with Cyrus Jirongo in Nairobi by 9. And they parted ways as he was heading home. Only to wake up in the morning and receive information that rest in peace, pole, checking, it is Cyrus Jirongo, no more. So that is one guy I need to trust on this particular story. If whatever he's saying is true, then how did Cyrus Jirongo find himself on his way not to Naivasha, but from Naivasha to Nairobi? So which means he had spent his time well in Naivasha. Now he finished, was heading back to Nairobi, where he was now going probably his home. So at what time did he make a decision that now I'm heading to Naivasha? Okay, if they were with Wetangula discussing some serious things about Luhya Nation, or maybe their friendship, did Wetangula get any information from Jirongo that I'm heading to Naivasha? Now, if Jirongo shared this information with him, why didn't he mention that Jirongo was heading to Naivasha? Now, if Jirongo told him that he was heading home, then who took Jirongo to Naivasha? Here in Naivasha, where he had a meeting, who was Jirongo with? Who did he have time with? We don't know so far who has come out to say that I was with Cyrus Jirongo in Naivasha, because it doesn't look like he spent the entire day there, because now already Moses Wetangula has told us that he was with him in Nairobi at 9 p.m. So which means in Naivasha, even if he was there for a short time, it must have been a very crucial meeting. So who is this was with Cyrus Jirongo? If he was with someone, what brought him there? At what time did he decide that he's going to Naivasha? Now, another question that people could be asking right now. You are driving a Mercedes. You've come out of a petrol station. You are seeing a bus that is coming. This bus has even decided to brake and stop. Then you insist you go and directly drive towards it. What does that mean? It means that probably the steering was not functioning. He tried to direct the vehicle to a different side, but it could not. That is the most likelihood here. Secondly, Cyrus Jirongo was dead before the accident. That's another indication. When I say he's dead, what could have stopped Cyrus Jirongo from diverting the car, especially even after the vehicle, the bus itself, Climax, had stopped? What stopped him? He could have also pressed the brakes for the vehicle to stop, but you see he accelerated towards the vehicle. What happened? What happened? Some of you could be saying probably he was drunk. For those who have vehicles here, you all know that drunk people, they can also see danger. Despite being drunk, I know you can be able to tell this vehicle is coming, it's an oncoming car, let me brake, or even let me try to do something. But in a scenario where you just go and hit a vehicle that has already stopped, a bus for heaven's sake, and you know the torch of a bus is quite strong. You can't just go there assuming that you did not see it. It must be there. So in a nutshell, we have to be honest here. There are questions that need to be answered in relation to the death of Cyrus Jirongo. Apparently, this is not just my story. Luhya leaders from various categories have come out to state that they are not contented with the explanation that is coming out. Just like that, Cyrus Jirongo left that place where they were with Wetangula to just die in Naivasha.
Naivasha is not in between here and Karen. How did he find himself in Naivasha, driving back to Nairobi? In Naivasha, driving back to Nairobi.
That is a very clear and controversial statement, because at least there could be some notion that he went to Naivasha to do this and that. Because you can't part ways with me. For instance, my friend called Martin, I part ways with him at night from maybe in his place or in a Mukahawa. Martin needs to know at least I'm heading home. At least mention it. Why did Wetangula not mention where this guy was heading to? Okay, at least if he was heading to Naivasha, he could have known. Now, Martin leaves me going home. Then now in the morning, I'm dying on my way from Kisii. How? How did I reach there? So in a nutshell, ladies and gentlemen, this could be a very clear indication that probably there's something that went wrong somewhere. Then if it is the alcohol that led to this kind of a fatal accident, that is very sad. But nevertheless, everything is according to the plans of the Almighty. I don't know what is your take, but I think on the comment section you can share with me if there's any question that probably could be also disturbing you in relation to the death of Cyrus Jirongo. My name is Abel Mukwa. Thank you so much for watching. Let me take this opportunity to the entire family of Jirongo kindly to say Poleni Sana. God bless you all. May God stay with you for those who have been bereaved.